Episode 28.
Episode number 28, mate. Feels good to be back in the saddle.
Yeah, we're flying, and we're almost at 30,000 Instagram followers, bro. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, the fact that, you know, that now that we've eclipsed the episode number in 1,000 followers. So, yeah, onwards and upwards, and that's all you, mate. That's hats off to you.
No. I'm not going to let you give me credit for that, because if you go back and you look at all the videos that have gone viral, they're all fucking yours, bro.
It's because people love the bogan accent, mate.
All right, we have got a really long, like last week was long. I'm worried that this week's going to be just as long.
But everyone loves it, though. You know, it's just that there's a bit of time off with the Easter holidays and stuff like that. The kids are home, so mum and dad need something to watch. So these longer episodes are a bit of fun, especially with the colder months coming up.
Yep. And if you do enjoy listening to the podcast, just leave us a comment, leave us a like, leave us multiple comments, right? But whatever you can do to kind of like give us some feedback is great, because it goes towards the algorithm which pushes it out there.
That's exactly right. We need as many eyes on this as possible, because we just want to share the love. The more input you can give to, the better. You know, we want to feature everyone's cooks, their fuck-ups, their victories. And, yeah, this is a community-based show. And, yeah, let's hook in.
Rightio, so what have we got inside this edition?
Righto, we've got a hot and fast helicopter. We've also got some under-seasoned imposters. We've got some art for a place in New Caledonia. We've also got some guys from the meat game. They've hooked us up with our cook of the week. And an Indonesian fusion Texas barbecue joint.
All right, this sounds great. Bit of future barbecue, love it.
Mate, we're getting all over the globe on this one.
Rightio. Let's start with our fuck-up of the week. And it's one you sent me, and it's a bit of good fun.
That's a hot chook.
So it was posted by Cooking with Kanchi on Facebook, and there's a chicken on a bench next to a portable stove, and it's caught its feathers on fire.
It's pretty unfazed too.
It doesn't seem fussed at all, but I guess what is it going to do in reality?
Flap it out.
So the video sort of cuts, because I think the guy has to put the chicken out, and the video that we're playing on the right here shows that it segues into someone cooking the chicken. Those segues are pretty popular these days, aren't they?
Yeah, you've got the one where the cow falls out of the truck and then it's a steak falling on the grill, and the same with the pig jumping out of the pan and that sort of thing. But I love those big open fire grills these guys are cooking on now. I think we've got to get ourselves one.
Yes. What's the brand?
Fuegos, I think.
Fuegos.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, this is hilarious. Poor chicken, he's on fire. He probably doesn't know it, but he probably can smell it.
I reckon. Probably the wrong end to be smelling of a chook, though.
Hopefully this person has put the camera down and put this chicken out.
Good times. Next.
All right. What are we looking at?
At first glance, I thought this was a bit of AI, but we've got an LPG stove or an LPG barbecue with the hood up, and it is fully on fire.
Yeah.
Gas bottle there's exposed. Yeah, it's not going to be a good time.
So if this was me and I saw that in my backyard, I would just run.
Yeah, you'd just push it off the deck at least.
So it was sent to us by the legends at the Meat Game podcast, who are helping us with our dish this afternoon. If you're into meat or you're into butchering, then give them a follow. They're called the Meat Game podcast. But there's more to the story.
There is. I thought it was, a superimposed image at the start, because it's crazy how it's just got the whole big front on it. It's a very minimalist looking grill. Yeah, you've shed some light. You've gone down the rabbit hole as you do.
I went down the rabbit hole, and the barbecue is actually a live fire training prop. It's a propane-fed system that simulates real live fire emergency scenarios, and they sell these things to, I'm guessing, fire departments.
Yeah, right. So you've got a whole catalogue of different props.
Yeah, that's right. You can buy all sorts of things that pretend to be on fire so that you can do your training. And one of them that popped up here is a bloody helicopter.
So, Wayne, you've lost the race. Someone's beat you to it. Yeah, that's a hot and fast grill right there.
There's a hot and fast helicopter. So you can buy these things online. There's no prices for them, but yeah, I'm guessing they sell these things to fire departments for training.
Well, have you ever taken off on a flight and seen them training on the big pretend aeroplanes there? That's scary.
Yeah, when you're in a plane, you look out the window and you see this plane that's caught on fire and it's on the side of the tarmac. You kind of get a bit worried, like, what the hell happened to those guys? But yeah, it's generally just a training plane.
Yeah, it's no good if you got the heebie-jeebies with flying at the start, but they're just working hard to keep us safer.
Yeah, all right. Well, there it is, a hot and fast helicopter.
It could be one of Stacey's new things, being the firefighter that he is. He might have to make one of these for his little mini truck.
I reckon he could probably lobby the New Zealand Fire Department to get one of these.
Bloody oath.
Okay, dishes of the week. And this one popped up and I am all about it.
This looks really good. This is our Indonesian influence.
It was posted by Nwabin. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And it's from Fix Q Craft Barbecue in California. And he says, big ups, amazing barbecue, dino ribs, chicken and sausage, and Indonesian fusion plates are the real treat. This is some amazing looking barbecue we're looking at.
Well, that's it. You've got your classic Texas low and slow style there with the chicken Maryland, the dino rib and the smoked sausage. But then you look like you've got a nasi goreng rice dish there. Then you've got some, some collard greens and that sort of thing going on with some prawn chips and that sort of thing. This
looks like a bit of a cucumber salad.
It does, doesn't it? It's so good. Imagine the flavour combos you could come up with there.
Yeah, that's crazy. So this is amazing looking barbecue, and I had never heard of them before, sadly, but they feature in the top 50 barbecue joints in America by Texas Monthly. So I went digging, and it's halal Texas barbecue with Indonesian fusion dishes.
That's pretty insane because they're almost exact opposite parts of the world.
Yeah.
Texas and Indonesia.
So the dish on the right here is soto pangdang, and it comes with smoked flat iron steak. So here's a traditional Indonesian dish served with a bit of smoked flat iron, which I think just elevates it.
It does. It bloody oath it would.
And look how vibrant it looks. Like if I go to a barbecue joint and they've got that on the menu, that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, that's it. You do like to sort of see someone's twist on a classic.
Yeah, and just to drive it all home, these are some more photos that I found of the barbecue, and it looks phenomenal. They are calling it Indo-Tex Barbecue.
I like it.
So there's Tex-Mex, Indo-Tex.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Some of the photos are pretty cool, hey?
Well, just the colours too that they add to the palette. It's just amazing.
So I think a lot of what's happening here in this kind of like fusion, future school, barbecue revolution, whatever you want to call it, right? Because more and more places like this are popping up all the time. It's generally traditional American Texas barbecue served with sides that are then sort of reflective of that particular cuisine. But I think more and more you're going to start to see those international flavours kind of mixed in with the meat itself. I think that's going to happen, like the rubs, sausage flavours, sauces, glazes, brines. I think you're going to see soon enough that the meat's reflective of that culture as well. And I think really this style of barbecue is going to heavily influence Vaughn in his top 50 Texas and American barbecue joints in the country.
He's almost going to have to fall back on your little table there that you designed, mate, and break it up into 3 worlds of old school, new school and future school.
Well, I think his knowledge of barbecue far exceeds anything that bloody I'm capable of. But at the same time, you can start to see that in his top 50, a lot of these joints are starting to slide in there now. And they didn't feature sort of 4 or 5 years ago.
It'd just be nice and refreshing for him too, because, you know, if you're going into the same places every day, which a lot of these old school joints are, but their philosophy and their mission is to make sure that the barbecue's the same as what you had 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So for someone that's doing it for a living, this is a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. And do you remember last week's episode we had the faux beef ribs?
Yeah, that'd fit right in, wouldn't it? That's
what I kind of mean by I think that's where some of the barbecue anyway is going to evolve into taking on international influences.
That's cool. There's also another really popular one in Texas, I think, with the Egyptian influences. So that's one for us to touch on.
KG, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we might get to that in the following episode.
Righto.
All right, next up, we love a good pizza on the show.
Just love pizza.
And this one might just be one of the prettiest.
It is very pretty, although it needs more pepperoni up in this top corner, mate. It's got to be a little bit more evenly dispersed here, I think.
Okay, well, you're being a little bit critical there. Well, I love this anyway, and it was posted by Slice Addict, and he titled it Homemade Stuffed Crust Pizza.
Stuffed crust?
Yeah, so he says stuffed crust usually isn't my thing, but I had a request for one earlier in the week and I figured I'd give it a shot. It was cooked in an uni at around 670 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was done in about 7.5 minutes, which for me is quite long.
That is a long time for something that hot, but it doesn't look burnt.
No, it doesn't look burnt at all. It looks beautiful. He used exactly 8 ounces of whole milk mozzarella cut into strips and then placed around the edge before folding the crust over.
There you go. No gatekeeping here.
Yeah, it looks like a good ratio of crust to cheese.
Oh, I'd towel that right up, mate.
So normally with chain pizza, it's like horrible. Stuffed crust is usually horrible, right? But he said his secret was you go lighter on the cheese and use a lower hydration dough.
There you go.
I'm not that into pizza to know what that means. a lower hydration dough.
Probably just less water in the mix.
So he says no tough edges, no gummy bites, just a great melt and texture. And the proof is in the photo. That looks great.
Looks amazing. Even served on the traditional paper plate, mate, so you can fold that with the slice.
Yeah, the New York style. So you talked about gatekeeping before. This guy's definitely not gatekeeping, because this slide that we've got up next, this is all his secrets. So this is basically his recipe for the dough that he used. So you can screenshot that, have a look, and if you want to follow his recipe. And you can also see the little screenshot there that he took of the uni to say that that's what the temperature that he cooked it at.
But then that's the thing with pizza too. You can go in with all this knowledge. Doesn't mean you're going to end up with what he made, because that's the thing. It's a pure art in making pizza, especially from scratch.
I feel like I've done it enough times now to know that you need a bit of instinct, and I don't have it. I can follow a recipe just fine. But when you go, it's not quite turning out the way it is because of whatever, the humidity or the type of flour you used, I just don't have that knowledge to be able to adapt. And I think that's what you need to be a really good pizza maker.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Videos of the week, and these are some things that caught our eye. Sometimes they're a bit of food porn, sometimes they're barbecue or meat related, and sometimes they could be bloody anything, right? But we usually share them with each other throughout the week, and we get a bit of a laugh. This one confused me though, and I really don't know what to say, so we're just going to play it here. It was posted by Kenya Lane, and it was titled, "He told me he cooks the best brisket in the world."
Okay. Depends what you're looking for, I suppose. I mean, I'm sure it's probably still a cracking bite. It doesn't look like it could potentially be the best brisket. It certainly doesn't look like it's freshly cooked either, the way he's got to force that knife through it.
Well, I'm going to say it would be easier to cut through a tree branch with a pen than what he looks like he's cutting through this brisket with.
Maybe that's what he's putting in the firebox.
To give him some credit, maybe he's going to put it in the tray there in the slices and maybe reheat it for whatever reason.
Yeah, put it in with some stock or something like that, you reckon?
Maybe some stock, maybe some sauce, but it might be a way of portioning it out before you pull a whole brisket out and cut it. I'm not sure. If you think you know what's happening here, leave us a note in the comments, because we're not quite sure. The brisket just looks like it's...
Looks like it's ready for pies.
It looks like it was ready for wrapping.
I don't know. It looks cold to me. Like, there's no movement. There's no jiggle. That's definitely cold brisket, man. He's reheating it, surely.
Yeah. But I'm not quite sure why you'd pull it apart before you reheated it. Anyway, if you're interested, he also does barbecue boot camp beginners class.
Okay. I hope that's the colour of his T-shirt and it wasn't a white T-shirt at the start of the day.
with all that smoke, you never know, because what we're looking at here is a lot of dirty smoke.
A lot of dirty smoke. Maybe he's just getting it hot and it's about to turn that thin, crispy blue that we like. Maybe he's learning as he goes and he wants you to learn with him. But he's having a crack.
Well, you know what? I've had so many disasters in barbecue and so many shitty cooks in my time. I just feel like anyone in barbecue you can't be critical of anyone else in barbecue, because we've all had disasters.
That's it. And, you know, he's doing better than the guys not doing it.
Well, he's running a business.
That's exactly right.
Okay, next.
Yum.
Looks awesome, doesn't it?
Hot diggity dogs.
So this one's by the Red Hot. They're on Instagram, and this one's called the elote dog, and it's a hot dog, grilled corn, salsa verde, a cilantro lime crema, cotija cheese, Tajin seasoning. They're the ingredients.
Crema has become a staple in my house now whenever we have corn or something like that, ever since we featured that beautiful cornbread from Ernest Cervantes.
It's a great condiment, isn't it?
It's insane. It's just so simple, yet just such a good compliment.
So I'm not really a hot dog fan, but I would murder one of these.
I reckon.
Maybe two.
Be messy.
Okay, the Red Hot on Instagram. Give them a follow.
Bloody oath. Good times.
Rightio. News. We've got some news.
Uh-oh.
And there's some imposters.
Oh.
Some underseasoned podcast imposters. So I found them while searching YouTube for us. I was looking for our own videos, and they're called the Underseasoned Podcast.
Okay. And they're only pretty new, but apparently we copied them.
So they're two comedians from Seattle. They're Casey and Jess. And we reached out to them and said, hey, nice name. And they said to us, well, we come up with the idea in May 2024, even though they only made their account 4 weeks ago. And they said, a little bit facetiously, they said, if anyone is looking for Australian barbecue, we'll send them your way.
Is this a bit of a Matt Pittman moment, what he did with that guy in the Meat Church group? Go get him.
I think
you
so.
guys out there, Go get them.
So true story with our podcast is we started a pilot, and on that pilot it was called the
Overseason, which actually featured, if you go back at the start of Adriano's episode, the old artwork made its way on the screen somehow. But yeah, we did the right thing. You found out that there was already an Overseason podcast, so we did the right thing and changed our name.
Yeah, we did. So I went looking. I had this thought just before we launched of like, what if someone else has got the same name? So I went and had a look, found someone with exactly the same name. So we changed from overseasoned to underseasoned.
We sure did.
And I
like underseason better because, you know, we're from down under, and it also implies that as much as we think we know, there's always room for improvement.
That's right. Well, there's probably a little bit of room for improvement on old Casey and Jess's podcast as well. But if you're into comedy and you like our podcast name, you might like these guys.
Yeah, but if you're in for comedy, look somewhere else. Look here. We're funny.
We're not even fucking comedians. Okay. Guess the price.
Ooh, it's this one again.
I love this one. Some of these blow my mind.
Yeah.
All right. First one.
Okay.
So before you jump in and guess the price on this one, it was posted by Turnsk. It was taken at Partners Cafe in Dublin. And what we're looking at here is a pretty dismal breakfast.
It is. It's, what do we got? Bit of overcooked bacon, deep fried sausage and an over easy egg. So there's some bread up in the background and some sauce sachets. Being in Dublin, I reckon you're looking at about 12 euros.
You're very, very close. It's just under 13 euros.
Jesus.
So that's the equivalent of about 23 Australian dollars.
Yeah, right.
So this next one is posted by Nugget07, and they said, I've never been so ripped off in my life. What we're looking at is 1 egg, 2 cold hash browns and a can of Coke. And that's a pretty sad looking breakfast.
It is. And where's this place?
You know where it is?
Where?
Same space, same
Oh,
spot.
really?
They must be the home of Ireland's shitty breakfasts.
Yeah, right. The hash browns there look good. I mean, that's the national currency of Ireland, the old humble potato. And at least they've improved the egg this time around. But, geez, if it's anything to go off.
Well, there's no sausage. So
there's no sausage. Surely.
No bacon either.
No bacon. So surely you're looking at under 10 euro. So let's say €9.50.
No, you're looking at 11 euros and 25 cents.
Jesus.
I don't even know what that is in Australian dollars. $20 probably.
Yeah. Well, the can of Coke, you know. Could be a big can of Coke.
All right. Next. Now, you know the answer to this next one.
Yes, because it's my feed. This was
You
from
can't guess because you already know.
Well, this is from the cafeteria in the Taronga Zoo. Myself and the family had a beautiful weekend down there a couple of weeks ago, and I sent the wife up to get lunch, and she'd never been in a cafeteria like this before. She's like, how's that? You just take your tray and you pick what you want and you put it on there, then you pay for it all at the end. It's just like, you're so sheltered, darling.
Every football game will...
Every school, bro. Like, this was how we had school lunch. Cafeteria, trays. Used to sneak the sausage roll in the blazer pockets so you didn't have to pay for them.
So what are we looking at?
So we've got a kid's nuggets and chips, a hot dog, a burger and chips, a side of chips, a fruit box, and a packet of lollies.
So you're going to share that one fruit box, are you?
Nah, the two girls just fought over that. We didn't get a look in.
So there was 4 of you, 1 fruit box, but you got the lollies as compensation.
Oh, yeah, there was plenty of dad tax going on in the lollies.
Okay, so Taronga Zoo is Australia, or probably be Australia's maybe biggest zoo, but it's definitely Sydney's biggest zoo.
Yeah, the zoological gardens down there past Mossman. Beautiful setup. This was a rainy, wet day at the zoo.
So you asked me to guess how much this was.
Yes.
$29, I said.
51 Australian dollars.
How? That hot dog looks so mid too.
I had to go put my own sauce on it, bro. And then my eldest daughter decided halfway through that she liked hot dogs, so she had it.
I don't mind paying for food. I actually enjoy paying for food when it's good, but it's got to be good. And I resent so much going somewhere where the food's terrible and you have no other choice. And it happens a lot at sporting fields.
Oh, it does. Look, this was all good for us because, you know, as I said, it was a wet day. We needed to load up on carbs. We actually left home at about 6 o'clock that morning with a full packed lunch. That didn't even make its way to Sydney. We ate it on the way. So then we needed to buy ourselves some lunch. It was all good. It was a happy day. The kids were happy. The tummies were full. If you're going to the zoo, get your wallet out.
Okay. Failed or nailed?
This is the best.
So we mix these up. Sometimes they're eating challenges. Sometimes they're just food things. But you've got to guess straight off the bat whether it's failed or nailed.
Yep.
Ready?
Sure am. Oh, So this is an eating challenge. She's confident. It's a big, messy plate of ribs. I reckon she's failed.
Okay, so it's from the Grand Hotel at Childers. It's a hotel in Queensland, Australia, and this is an eating challenge, and it's called the Full Bore. And this lovely-looking lady here is Georgia, and it was her birthday.
Happy birthday, Georgia.
And what we're looking at here is a full rack of ribs. And it also comes with fries and salad.
Yep.
It's $50, and if you finish it, you get your name up on the wall.
Yeah, right. Do you get your money back?
No, you don't get your money back, but I think you get a beer cooler.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a huge, big eating challenge. It's probably achievable in some ways, but that is a nice rack of ribs.
It is.
She looks confident.
She does look confident. How'd she go?
Okay. What did you guess again?
I said failed.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah. Nailed. She's kicked ass. She's got the stubby holder there. 25 minutes and 30 seconds is a pretty good time.
Yeah, so she said...
Did she eat the bones too?
No. Oh, dear. So she was the second fastest female full bore time of all time. She did it in 25 minutes and 30 seconds, and she's got herself a stubby cooler here.
Bloody oath. And a full tummy.
Yeah, good on her.
Happy days.
Next.
Oh, that's a fail.
So this one's posted by the Fanny Fairy, and that's actually their name, okay? I'm not making that up. They ordered a rare steak at a popular UK chain, and they said, this is blue, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a bit different to, when you go to a sushi joint or something and you get like the beef tataki where it's just been hit with the blowtorch, because it's still raw. In this instance, like it's as if they've just taken this thing straight out of the fridge or the freezer even. They've got a bit of a char because the colour on the top looks good, but that heat has not penetrated at all. Yeah, a lot of people in the comments said that this went from the freezer to the pan to the plate. I'm inclined to disagree because I kind of feel like that is so rare that if it was frozen, it would still look somewhat frozen in the middle, but it doesn't. You can just feel how chewy that is from that picture. I mean, we could be wrong, but for me, I'm not into it.
It doesn't look marbled at all, does it?
No.
Well, look, what's your philosophy on steak in general when you go out and you order rare or blue or well done or medium rare or whatever? How much grace do you give them? For me, it's one stop. If I ordered medium and it came out medium well, I'm going to be okay about it. But where there's two steps, that's where I'm kind of like, hang on, if I ordered medium and I got well done, I'd be upset. Or if I ordered well done and got medium, I'd be upset. But this, to me, I feel like you're playing with fire when you order a rare steak anyway.
Yeah, I think most people would agree that you wouldn't mind it being a little bit more over than under, because if you're a medium eater and you don't want to see any of that juice coming out, you want it cooked all the way through, you're going to be more happy with medium well than you are medium rare. But see, I'm not too fussed with how my steak comes out. Like, I'll obviously tell them how I want it cooked, but if it's tender and it's good, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Especially now, too, with the price of things. Like a steak is pretty well up there as the jewel in the crown of the menu. It's always the most expensive
after
dish.
lobster, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Seafood,
geez.
lobster.
Yeah, there's not too many lobster joints getting around these days. But
steak would have to be next, right?
Yeah,
right.
for sure, yeah. If you're paying good money, especially in today's economical climate, you're going to want it to be as good as what you expect.
Okay, next up, Quick Draw McGraw.
Failed.
So this was on Rate My Plate. It's mac and cheese pork loaf by Ali S. And if you really think about it, it's probably a somewhat decent idea because it's pork loaf with what looks to be macaroni in there. But when they've cut it, it kind of looks like, I don't know, veins.
Yeah, it almost looks like there's been some sort of insect burrowing through it too. But it's just, I mean, if it wasn't the cross section, it'd probably look all right. But I don't know. I'd be smashing up my macaroni so there were no hollow bits. This
reminds me of when you hit the end of the internet sometimes and there's always someone doing some disgusting thing by trying to pick a pimple or pick something out of a hole.
I'm expecting a few little wasps to come out of there, mate, and fly out.
Okay. Janine in the comments says, oh my God, this looks like some kind of disease.
That was my first thought.
Okay, talking points. This is where we babble on a little bit about some things that have got us interested. Let's play these two videos. And what we're looking at here is us trying to explain our best the cost of brisket in a commercial setting to everyone in the comments that says, what a rip-off every time someone mentions the price of brisket.
Yeah, that's it. And these videos didn't do anything to put out those fires either. We still attracted all those naysayers who say, that's not worth that.
Yeah, correct. So this picture here really drives it home for me, and it was posted by Sam from Ellis Barbecue Co. And he says, early starts, Texas trim on Wagyu, marble score 9, a 50% loss from starting product. So what we're looking at here is a brisket, a bloody good brisket, mind you. But this really does, for me, highlight just how much wastage comes off a brisket when you're trying to trim it to a proper modern Texas style. So the next photo we have here is the end outcome.
Yeah, that's it. All that stuff's not going in the bin, obviously. You know, you use that, you put it through your mincer, you use it as burgers, you save some of the fat for tallow. But when you're just operating just off cooked brisket yield, it is a big loss.
Yeah. So for everyone out there that says, oh, I cut too much, the trim's too aggressive, this is how most Texas barbecue joints, new school, future school, this is how they trim them these days, and there's a little bit of a science behind it, and I don't really know too much about it, but it improves smoke circulation, eliminates thin and uneven or jaggedy or bulky pieces that would generally overcook and then make for unpleasant barbecue, but it gives it a more consistent cook from point to flat because it's way more evenly shaped.
But also too, as you can see in the background of that second photo, it's a full smoker. So you're working on a little bit of aerodynamic for smoke flow too.
Yeah, correct. I think the shape of it has a lot to do with smoke flow as well. So like I said, I don't know too much about the science, but I just know that everyone's trimming their briskets these ways and they're doing it for a reason.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So it's quality over quantity.
Bloody oath.
And like you said, I'm sure we can use some of the trimmings, but the trimmings will generally be worth less than the cooked brisket. So if you're looking at a brisket in a commercial setting and calling it a rip-off, then it just seems a little bit unfair because it's one of the difficultest cuts to cook. It's the most time-consuming cut to cook. You get the most loss out of it in terms of even the weight you lose while you're cooking it, and then people just expect it to be cheap. So sometimes I feel like a lot of pitmasters are in a no-win situation. It doesn't matter if it's good, people call it a rip-off, and if it's crap, they call it crap. So I think people just have to come to accept that brisket is no longer a cheap cut.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay, products. You've got a new one out, or at least one you've done the label for. So tell us about this.
Yeah, so I actually got this in the mail the other day, and I completely forgot that I'd done the label art for this one there because it was all in the pre-Christmas rush. Yeah, this is a cracking new one from the gents at Blue Smoke, available at all Bunnings. This is a Montreal-style sweet maple barbecue seasoning.
Looks great.
The brief for the art was to go with a bit of Sugar Shack vibes, which is the old huts they used to build in the bush there and treat the maple syrup in. Yeah, good fun one. It's a really delicious rub, this one. Nice and sweet, got a good bit of heat on the back end. Good bit of vinegar in there too. So
I love vinegar in rubs. And Bunnings, for those people that don't know, is Australia's biggest hardware store.
Yeah, it's kind of our Home Depot, I suppose.
Speaking of Home Depot, that segues us off to the next one here. So these are low and slow smoked chips, or crisps, whatever you want to call them. And what started out as a crazy idea after dinner and a few bourbons between Jared and Paul, and they are the co-founders, became an overnight obsession. So they smoked them with real wood and real smoke, and then they covered them with a secret rub. And the low and slow snacks, crisps, are now available at Home Depot, which is a pretty big deal, right?
That's a pretty big fish to land.
1,347 stores to be exact, which is really cool. So congrats to them. They had an idea and they've executed it.
Yeah, I know there's one in New Zealand where they've got a local chip company over there. I forget the name, but Smoky Teas, the smokehouse down in Christchurch, has got a potato chip out through there over in New Zealand. So we'll have to try some of them too.
I wonder if they smoke them or just flavour them with a barbecue rub.
Not sure. We'll have to get some in and analyse it and then see if we can recreate them.
So this is fantastic. Congratulations. It's great seeing, people sitting around having a drink together, coming up with ideas, and then they just bloody execute it and end up in Home Depot.
Yeah, it's a good time.
And not only that, but this is Ernest Cervantes. He's the Pope of Barbecue, and here he is in a photo using their products for a dish. So some instant street cred right there.
Hell yeah. And I mean, this guy's not going to use anything as his nacho base, so...
Well, these are their smoked corn chips, so that's pretty cool.
It is. That's a feather in the hat right there.
Mailbox. I love it when people send us in DMs or email us. So this one was sent to us by Dan Botticini. He says, "Hey legends, I'm a huge fan of the podcast and I just brought my first offset and it needs a bit of restoration. Any tips on bringing it back to life?" And this is what we're looking at here.
Oh, that's the classic Facebook marketplace find, isn't it?
And he did buy it on Facebook marketplaces, which is what he says. So he's bought a really old rundown. The wood has been weathered. The smoker box is somewhat rusted, but it looks salvageable.
Got to buff out. How much was it?
I don't know. I'm going to guess a couple $100, but what would you do to sort of bring this back to life?
Oh, geez, I don't know, mate. I'd probably just fire it up, put a new chopping board on it and hope for the best, because I'm not in the restoration game. The first thing you'd do is probably address a lot of that rust. You'd look into the cooking chamber first. I reckon you'd probably have to replace the racks in there so that none of that rust is going to stick to the meat when you cook it. But, I mean, a rusty firebox is still going to go all right. I'd probably get a new serving board and that sort of thing, maybe put some grease in the wheels, but, I mean, it's probably still going to run.
Yeah, I think it will run too. If it was me, I would hit it with a wire brush, like really, really hard. You can use like vinegar soak, I think it's called, to kind of help with that rust. But if you give it a really big hit with a steel brush and then you seasoned it, so you used like a canola oil or a flaxseed oil or something like that and you seasoned it, I think for me that would be enough anyway. Some people might use a sort of like a heat-proof paint, but I just don't think it needs that for an offset smoker.
No, I'm in the same boat as you. I'd do more so just to make sure that it was, running smoothly and clean inside, but I wouldn't do too much with the outside.
Well, now that we've said all that, it doesn't mean jack shit, because he sent us a photo. Before we could even get back to him or talk about this on the show, he wrote back and said, I thought I'd send the final product. I just put some canola oil over the outside and the inside and seasoned it, and we'll see how it goes. Keen as for the first cook. And I think he's replaced the timber board at the front.
Yeah, I think he has there too. It's a bit bigger, but you sure he hasn't painted it? Like, that firebox looks black now.
It does. It looks like he painted it. He's had to scrub it. Surely he hasn't just seasoned it and that's it. And there he is. This is Dan. Thanks for sending that in and letting us give our 2 cents on a barbecue that you've probably done a better job of than we would have.
Bloody oath. Cracking effort, bro.
And good luck on your barbecue journey, and keep us in the loop about how you go.
Hell yeah.
Next.
This is the sausage sensei creeping into my DMs.
So I feel like the sausage sensei, I feel like he's in a lot of people's DMs.
I don't know if everyone gets this same sort of treatment, mate, but you don't need to butter my bread, Bill.
So he says, I would love to be on the under-seasoned show whilst I'm in Australia. I promise it will be entertaining, and I have no doubt.
Oh, it'd be insane. We've just got to align the planet. The main condition of being on our show is you've got to get to this studio. We ain't taking this thing apart. And we're not doing Skype or anything like that.
No.
It's got to be in person. It's got to be intimate.
Yeah, so we made a decision long ago that we would only do episodes in the studio and we wouldn't Skype in episodes or Skype in Pitmasters. So we're happy to have people come into the studio. We're happy to do episodes. So all you've got to do is you've got to make it to Port Macquarie. Port Macquarie is about 4 hours north of Sydney. So if you're around this area, or you want to fly here, it's a great place to have a holiday, by the way. You can come and be on the Under-Season podcast with us.
That's it. Come and experience some winter sun. And, it stays around 25 degrees Celsius all year round here. So we're coming into the best part of the year, I reckon. The days are shorter, the skies are nice and blue, and heaps of good surf, good fishing. And bring the family. They can hang out at the break wall all day and we'll just talk barbecue.
Yeah. And if you're too embarrassed to be on camera, you can at least come and cook for us, right?
Bloody oath.
Okay, Barbeque Backyards. I love this segment here. It's from a guy called Dennis Maher, and he says, just like that, 55 days of blood and sweat, the barbecue shack, my outdoor kitchen makeover of 2025 is Dunsky.
That's amazing. He's got a Bay Marie there, couple of uprights, two Traegers.
Yeah, he's not mucking around, is he? So this is a garage. It looks like a 3-door garage, and he has decked it out as the ultimate outdoor kitchen.
Mate, he's only a splashback away from getting that council approved of a commercial kitchen.
Maybe that's what he's trying to do.
Good times.
Okay, so like you said, he's got a couple of Traegers. He's got a couple of stainless steel benches. He's got a sink.
He's got his nan's dining table.
He's got a big offset trailer smoker outside as well. A couple of hot plates there, some fridges. This is a proper, decent setup. If you want to cook outdoors, but not be outdoors, this is the next best thing.
It's legit, man. It's a good-looking shed. It's all insulated too by the look of it. So
he calls this a foodie's retirement zone.
Yeah, right. Just needs a big telly so you can have the footy on, mate.
I like it. All right. Up by Sigh. Tell me what's going on with this one.
So this is for our buddy over in Noumea in New Caledonia. He's got a barbecue store. I believe his name's Thierry. I believe that's how you pronounce it. We're not real good with the old pronunciations here. But anyway, this is his annual shirt. I did one for him a couple of years ago. He came over to Sydney Meat Stock. And he's recently just come back from a massive barbecue expo in France and then on to Italy. So he gets around, he travels and just shares the love of barbecue, brings all the products home and sells them. He's also got a big barbecue festival too, which we should probably check out. But this is basically depicting him on his travels attending Meat Stock, which is coming up in Sydney. And I do believe he'll have these shirts for sale. But when I finished this artwork, he messaged me. He's like, mate, it's 6:30 in the morning here in France. Can you send me the files? I'll get a shirt printed. He got this thing digitally printed that day, wore it to every barbecue festival, this one stinky shirt. But he actually got pulled up and they're like, mate, where'd you get your shirt? It appears that there's no real merch game over there in Europe. And I've got a couple of guys hitting me up in the DMs. So, yeah, let's spread some barbecue love over in the big continent.
Yeah, I reckon Europe needs your artwork.
I reckon we need to go to Europe too.
We do. 100% we do. Okay, on the menu. What do we got today?
So we've had the legends, or Fieldy especially. He called into my place over a couple of weekends ago and dropped off some more sausages. So he's been in the lab and he's made some awesome pork and beef sausages for us to cook and try on the show today.
So Fieldy's from the Meat Game podcast and you should check it out. And last time on the show, he made us some chicken sausages.
Yeah.
And they were pretty good, right?
They were real good. 5 different flavours, and we've got another 5 flavours today. See if they can keep up.
Rightio. Well, let's bring it out.
Oh, magic.
Got the gloves on, mate.
Yeah, got them on both hands this time.
Okay. So run me through these sausage flavours we've got here.
So these are a bit of a combination. We've got some beef and some pork ones here. So we've got some maple bacon. We've got a pork jalapeno and cheese, pesto and sweet chili, a beef cheeseburger, and an Italian sausage. The Italian is actually a mixture of the beef and the pork and some good oregano and stuff like that going on in there.
I love flavoured sausages.
Yeah, and smoked, obviously, because that's the best way to do a banger.
Yeah, so what have you done here? Let's go through the little process.
So I've hit the Traeger up at about 275 F, which is probably around 150 Celsius for those people that can't convert. Slapped them in there, given them a good smoke bath for about 45 minutes to an hour. We're just going to serve them. We're going to do the old sausage snap. Yeah, we're just going to hook in.
Yeah, so I think I've said this on the show before, but smoking your sausages is just game-changing.
Bloody oath it is.
You don't realise how great sausages are until you start to smoke them.
Well, there's a reason they're in the casing. It's because that casing actually is helping cook it by steaming it inside. If you're steaming it using smoke, it's just another dimension of flavour.
Yeah, I love it. All right, let's bring these out. That's our big, awesome chopping board that was given to us by Currowa Bush Furniture.
Yeah, man.
All right. We need some snaps. Now, you've got the gloves on because I think these are a bit hot.
Yeah, mate. This is going to be the money shot right here.
Right, you can pick 2 out. That's a good snap. Hang on.
Please tell me you got that.
I got it, bro. All right, next one.
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger. This is one I really want to eat.
Oh,
I need glasses on, safety glasses.
Hey.
Oh, damn.
Let's do a third.
Okay. You're going to ruin it now, but it's not going to be as good. It was pretty good. The last one was great. All right. Stunt cam away. Which one are we going to go?
I'm going maple bacon.
Okay, well, I'm going to go the cheeseburger here. Oh, they are hot.
Very hot, bro.
I might need gloves myself.
Open your mouth. Bit of that romantic music, please, Denmark.
Denmark, romantic music. Ready? Oh, no, you aren't.
I'm not going to throw it.
That's so hot. Good, though. Pick this up.
They're delicious, bro.
Cheeseburger sausage. That might be the first cheeseburger sausage I've ever had.
I reckon he's copied my cheeseburger meatloaf, mate.
Oh, that went pretty well on the Instagram.
It was good too. Like, my wife absolutely demolished that.
Well, I think TikTok loved it. I also think Instagram loved that video too.
We cook, you sook.
Okay, great sausages. That was the Italian one. Oh, that's amazing.
That's good, eh? I think the texture, when you have beef and pork together, is probably my favourite combo.
It's spicy too. The Italian.
Might be a bit of Sicilian.
I like it a lot. Okay, that's on the menu, which brings us to the last part of the show, which is our Encore. And this is a map that popped up in my feed. It was posted on a friend's Facebook, and it's a map of where you are allowed to own kangaroos in America with and without a permit.
So the red states are where it's illegal to own a kangaroo.
Can't have your own kangaroo.
Can't have a kangaroo. What about a wallaby?
Maybe.
You can have a gun. Kangaroos are more deadly than guns, apparently.
Yep.
Orange, you can have a kangaroo with a permit.
Okay.
And green, without a permit, you can own a kangaroo. So Wisconsin, West Virginia, South Carolina, you are the winner.
You could get your own kangaroo. Don't even need a permit.
Bloody oath.
I asked ChatGPT, and they said there's about 2,000 to 3,000 kangaroos right now in America. Now, most of them are in zoos and wildlife parks, but apparently about 500 to 800 kangaroos are in private hands.
Wow.
Crazy, hey? I don't even think we can have a kangaroo as a pet here in Australia.
I don't think you can either.
No, you can't. Got me thinking about this. You remember Tiger King?
I'm never going to financially recover from this.
Well, this is Kangaroo King.
This is his offspring brother.
I wonder if Carol Baskin would have cared as much if he was breeding kangaroos.
Probably not. At least you can eat kangaroo.
Did you watch Tiger King, the series?
No, I didn't.
Oh, God, bro.
Whenever something's hyped up like that, I saw the Louis Theroux version. I love watching the Louis Theroux documentary, and I think he did a story on him probably 5 years before Netflix, because the main reason it got popular was at the start of lockdown. Everyone was just wanting to watch stuff because everyone was home all day. I never partook in the Tiger King.
Well, the only way I can explain Tiger King is like watching an 800-carriage train crash in slow motion across the series of episodes they did. That's how bad it was.
Yeah,
and
right.
it was wild. And I did actually fall in love with this guy. I really liked him. I mean, he's in jail now because I think he tried to kill Carol Baskin. He was a character, I'll say that much. And he might have been more of a character if he was the Kangaroo King.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Enough talking shit.
That's it, mate. Episode 28 is done and dusted. Let's polish off these snags. Yeah, Meat Stock Sydney's coming up, mate. So make sure you got your tickets for that, guys. It's going to be a good time. What do we say at the end?
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.